All right, so we're going to talk about how we can find our bias, our true bias, and or weekly, not weekly, but swing trade. If you have swing trade accounts, there are some swing trade prop firms out there, or your cash accounts. This is really simple. You just have to follow the rules. And there's not even that many of the rules. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on just a weekly zone here, right? And that's it. That's all we want: a weekly zone and a beacon line. And the mode of entry, as you guessed it, end caps. Why? Because we want to enter where price is getting filled, where orders are being filled. We don't want to just enter random places. Could you enter right here and drop down? Yes, but there's a good possibility this could turn around on you. If it hits an end cap and reverses, it's pretty much going in that direction. If not, just bad luck. So what do we want to do? How do we want to get into these trades? Well, we want to wait for price to go into the end cap. These are 15-minute candles. I like Heikin-Ashi. You can use whatever you want. And then we want to see price come out, followed, that was too fast, followed by the beacon line. Okay. And that's what we want to see. So we want to see the beacon line break in and break out. All right. And this one happened. It's just the time of day it happened. I would not take this. This is 9:30 in the morning. Okay. So this is giving us clear indication that this is going down. Now we just sell, right? And we put our stop loss above, and then we're going to target like a 5-to-1, and we're going to add in along the way too. And I'm going to show you that, right? We're going to target a 5-to-1, something like that, whatever you want to do. But 5-to-1 is probably pretty decent, right? We're just going to stick this off to the side just so that we can see it and we know it's there. And then we're going to let price do what price does, move around, right? And we're not going to touch our stop loss. We're not going to do anything yet. We're going to let the trade be a trade. Okay. Now, every time price comes up and respects the dynamic zone, once we leave this end cap, we're going to enter in another position. Okay. And so that respected this zone here. See that? It came up, retested it, and dropped again. So that's a respect. I'm going to sell again. All right. And now we're just going to watch this. We'll keep playing. And we don't have to stare at our screens for 2 days for this to happen. There's alerts. We'll know. We can set alerts so that when it hits the bottom of this, we'll know to add in another position. Right? Or at least to come look. More is a better way to say that. Come look at it and make sure, that we should be adding in. Right now, should we add in? No, it hasn't touched anything. It has not respected, it has not gone up and retraced off of the zone. Okay, so what did that do? That beacon hasn't left it yet. So let's see. Be a little cautious on this one because it's actually pulling back. Let's see. All right, that's giving us good indication. No, let's get a close. Not yet. There you go. We'll add in another one. And, whatever your risk tolerance is what you should be adding in, honestly. But I'm just doing this for just the lesson's sake. I'm just adding in one, right? And every time, I never put the take profit down there. There we go. So with 3 minis, our take profit's 93,000. All right, so we've left the zone. Okay, now we're in a drawdown. Not for very long. It doesn't look like it. Let's see. Let's just click play. Okay, so here we go. We're dumping down. Now this thing's straight flat. If it's flat like that and it's not stepping down, I'm more than likely not going to add in. Okay, because then we're getting into chop, and it could just go up and down, and I don't want to be going in and out of drawdown more than I have to, because you're gonna, the human emotion is going to start to kick in, and you may end up doing something you don't want to do, like closing it or trailing your stop loss down to a point where it's gonna get hit, even though you were going in the right direction. So now it's stepping down again. Now I'm gonna go, okay. So now I'm eased up a little bit, and I might add in if it retests. again, but we need to see momentum after retest. Okay, there's momentum after retest. So now we're in 4 contracts, right? And we're looking for um a follow through. And we're still coming down, we're still coming down. And you could have added in on these right here. If this comes up and hits it again, I probably will. Let's just move this out of the way so we can see what's going on. Um, our stop is, or our entry, our first entry was right here. On this, well, it was a little lower. Is a 1 to 5, 5 to 1, about right there. All right. So we're looking to see if this is going to pop back up and hit it again. If it does, I will probably re-enter. Let's see. Yeah, that's, well, didn't really hit it. Um, so okay, there we go. Now let's see if we get a curl under it with that beacon line. There we go. We get a curl under. So I have entered in again. Now we're in a total of 5 contracts. Our TP would be 121,000 if it hits. Now, what am I going to do now? Just in case this is the bottom and this is going to bounce up and shoot up, I'm going to take my stop loss and I'm going to put it right on this zone. So now we've locked in 51,000 and we're trying to get to this take profit here. And there was that's the risk that we're playing. That's the game that we're playing right here. If you're paying attention, if this comes up into the zone when it's that close to our take profit, I'm going to pay attention to that beacon line. You're getting alerts right now. You're looking and look at that wick. Holy crap. Okay, so we're probably going to get locked in at 51,000. Oh, okay. And we're diving down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, so you can turn the FLB has lines right here, right? So we can go down to sell line, buy line, and midline. I'm going to turn those on. I'm going to hover on the midline here, right? I'm going to lock in just a little bit more. Might be a bad idea. Okay, so we get stopped. Now let's find out if this actually finished out. Let's see if it actually goes down. And the reason I did that is this is flatlining for a while, right? Okay, so it doesn't quite make it there. Doesn't quite make it. But we became pretty close. A lot of times you're gonna, this is what's going to happen if you're running for those really high RRs. But if this just kept stepping down, I wouldn't be bothered by it, right? But since it's been running flat, it's been running flat since Monday at 8 at night. It's still running flat on Friday at 4:30. We are consolidating their building positions on a higher scale here. And when it's running flat like this, you need to start locking in profits because possible reversals are coming. It could come up and it might come up and tap this and then come straight back down again, but we're not going to find out. We're already up $50 or $61,000, right? So that is the best way to get into shorts when you're swing trading. Now, let's look at some longs here, okay? It's the same thing. We'll just go over some longs real quick, and we'll do the same thing here. So we get into and here's a perfect example of why you do not mess with your stop loss once you get into the trade, right? So here we go. We get into the buy here, right? We come into the end cap and then we leave it. There we go. Beacon line has left. We get into the trade and then our stop loss is this zone right here. And then we're going for whatever it is we're going. Let's see. We'll just do 5 to 1 again. Where is our tool? There it is. And then, so here is about 5 to 1. Close enough. Okay. And then we'll just get rid of that just to clear the screen up. And we're going to hold it. We're going to hold and just let price do what it's going to do. Right. We got to trust the system. And it's very hard to trust the system when you see what's about to happen. When this comes down and it starts slamming down into your stop loss, naturally you're going to want to close this, right? But that's not the system. Look at that. See that? I'm not taking that loss if I don't have to. Right now, here we go. So we're breaking up over. I'm not going to add when I'm down there. In case it does turn around. Now, on the rejections of the dynamic zone, I'm going to start adding in. Right. So let's get to a rejection point. Okay, I would be comfortable with that. So we'll add in one there, right? And then now we're going to want to add into another rejection point once we get it. All right, we got an end cap here. We don't really have, if you get a new end cap like this, you want to see if price is going to come down to it before you start adding in again, honestly. Because that's where a lot of unfulfilled orders are. That's an actual entry. We don't want to be toying. So you look at that big drop there, V bottom. Okay, so now I would be more comfortable with adding in. They could come sweep this low again, but they swept this one over here. So I would be comfortable with adding in on rejections. So there's a rejection there. So I would add in on that. We're still going for our 5-to-1, which is to the high over there. So that's an actual good target. All right, so we might get a sweep down into this end cap here. If we do, I'm going to look for an entry. Okay, so we made a low here. Now we're taking that low out. So if we get a rejection into the end cap rejection, I'm adding in again. Now we got to our 4, and I'm going to go for my 5 max. And there's the rejection one more time. Look at this, lows were swept. You could use that to add in, but I'll wait for the beacon line to come. I'm sorry, the zone to come sweep this high. So this zone sweeps that zone's high. I don't care about the candles. And I'm going to look for a rejection after that happens. Right at this point, I'm more than likely going to think about going up and hitting some profit, locking in something here. Okay, so we're breaking out. We get a rejection here, and we're going to add in possibly again, but I want to see a good touch. I don't want to just slam into it. So we're locked in. We're locked in under this end cap here. Those are really good spots for stop losses. So we're catching a full return to what I call supply and RTS, which is return to it's a supply and demand. So we're catching an RTS right here, all the way back up to supply, and supply is all the way up here somewhere, all the way over there. When I put my stop loss, I realized where we were going. So this I would just let run, and I'm gonna look for entries. Okay, so I'm going to enter on that, and there's my max positions. And what am I going to do with my stop loss? I'm going to go ahead and trail it up to this end cap here. That locks in 100 grand. I'm not going to be upset about that, right? I mean, hitting this would be amazing, but if they come down here and slaps 100 grand and you're at 100 grand, and you don't take it, that's, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. But this is working out beautifully. We're respecting the zones. We're respecting the end caps. So I'm confident this might just play out. And it's oof. And there you go. There's another example of end cap rejections being actually real. With that being said, I'm probably that bounce right there is going to cause me to trail up this zone here and lock in some more. And if you didn't believe in end caps rejections, well, I hope you do now, because you just saw that. The indicator is very real. There's nothing a joke about this. This is worth every penny in its weight in gold. And that might be it. They might actually come back and smack that. Yep, there it is. So 136,000 on that swing trade there. Nothing to laugh at. This is the way that you can use the First Light Beacon to swing trade, or even find your bias for the week, for the month, whatever, and however you want to use it. If you're pushing up like this, you can just say, okay, I'm going to be taking buys, and you're probably going to be safe taking the buys. So if you have any questions, ask us in our Discord. go to our website. You can join our Discord from the website, and you can get a free trial of this indicator and all the indicators we have on our website, firstlightbeacon.com.